think of biodiversity, do you think of tropical rainforests? Perhaps the rarest life in our seas and oceans? Well, there's a lot more to biodiversity than that. Ecosystems contain non-living and living components. Non-living things are known as abiotic factors. Living things are known as biotic factors. The desert biome, for example, looks boring and barren, but it's teeming with ecosystems. Low rainfall, an abiotic factor, affects living organisms like cacti, biotic factors. To understand biodiversity, we need to understand that we are dealing with biotic factors, but a lot of people get confused on what biodiversity really is. Let's take the black-eyed leaf frog, a pretty rare frog, as an example. Does that one rare frog in a biome count as biodiversity? Well, not exactly. Biodiversity is the assortment of living things in an ecosystem, but assortment has two different criteria. There's rarity, which is what we tend to think biodiversity is, and there's also quantity. We need a large assortment of living things to be classified as biodiverse, so we are going to need a lot more frogs. Biodiversity is different from genetic diversity. Genetic diversity refers to the assortment of different features within a single species. This person having blonde hair and this person having black hair is an example of genetic diversity, not biodiversity. Biodiversity holds the biosphere together. When a species goes extinct, it's gone forever. Decreased biodiversity can limit the ability of the ecosystem to stand up against future change. Sea ice melting harms the population of bearded seals and in turn, polar bears. And if you're talking about a keystone species, or one that has an unusually large effect on its ecosystem, say goodbye to stability. As we've seen, every factor in an ecosystem has an effect on biodiversity, whether biotic or abiotic, but humans, as biotic factors, also have effects on biodiversity. One of the most frequently cited human impacts on biodiversity is something called habitat fragmentation. It's when a barrier forms that prevents an organism from accessing its full habitat, something like a roadway. Habitat is crucial to maintaining biodiversity because rare organisms will be able to live in plentiful numbers only if they have the right habitat. So some states build land bridges to ensure a continuation of habitat. On top of that, acts like deforestation, climate change, and invasive species can all decrease biodiversity. Now, think back to these two questions. What is biodiversity, and why is it important? As a student, educate yourself and others, and take the next leap towards a biodiverse, sustainable future. Thank you for watching.